Salutations, Utopians. Hope all is well in your world. Couple of things we gotta address here. The first one though today, lot of lot of lot of sports. WNBA, a ton of college football debuts. Obviously, the big one was Texas, Ohio State. Arch Manning fully keys to the kingdom, and so much has been speculated. Is he going to declare after this year? Is he not? One of the top NIL athletes, if not the most paid. And today was a hard watch. Don't get me wrong. However, he did show some momentum in that fourth quarter. I want to start off saying it's only week one. Football, at the end of the day, doesn't really get going till about week five. But I know in college, one loss in your whole season's trajectory is upside down. And what sucks for Ohio State, because this is only Arch's third start in his career, and he played some very thin, talented rosters last year. Convenient timing when Quinn Ewers went to the bench for personal reasons, and there was this pressure, and everyone was acting like this was a passing of the torch with Drew Bledsoe to Tom Brady type thing. I myself even made some remarks, but ultimately, Archie is in a really difficult place, and that's because this celebrity that he has, obviously being of the Manning lineage and generations of talent, third, I think he's now the fourth. It's not the ideal setup for him. In a perfect world, he would have went to like a Liberty or something like that of that nature. Some Delaware, somewhere a little less uh, less less Hollywood, somewhere with less boosters. But if he goes to a smaller program, obviously you're making them way more rich than he could ever get paid. It would be record setting. He would practically need equity stake in a university, which obviously won't happen. That would set terrible precedent when he's the anomaly. And so, I mean, the Mannings are already commanding $100 million podcast deals, for goodness sakes. So it's like, in a perfect world, he would have, be in a lesser spotlight environment. But instead today, what did he have to deal with? A defensive coordinator in Matt Patricia who coached against his brother Eli and lost to his brother Eli in 2 Super Bowls. At the time, granted, he was a linebackers coach and a safeties coach, but still, the way Matt Patricia schemed it up today, it was some back pay, for the pain and agony that he caused Brady and Hoodie, for that matter. And he did an exemplary job. I know everything's going to be said about Coach Day, but I knew it was going to be a defensive game. Neither guy is really at the stage in their career where they're prepared to be, uh, Ohio State's missing 2 running backs. They have 2 guys who are going to both be studs in the league. Off the top, Quinton Judkins, be on the lookout for him with the Browns, even though he didn't have a preseason due to legal issues. And the second one, I can't remember his name, but he's going to be solid as well, at the top of my head. And so the tricky part with all this is both sides are going through a change. It was going to be a game of defense, and Matt Patricia had a whole summer to prep for this one game. And let's be real, college athletes already have limitations in terms of how much they can train. Archie athletic profile is not much different from Eli, quite frankly. He's obviously a little more athletic, but not quite the polished player overall. And so it was real easy for Matt Patricia to know how to approach things. And even with all that being said, Archie displayed some good qualities. He was gutsy. on the game winning on the game tying drive on third down. Plain and simple, his receiver let him down. He dropped the ball in open space. Nobody was on him. Fourth down came around, and then Matt Patricia did a phenomenal job of scheming it up. I mean, that was a brilliant, brilliant play. Two blitz. Then he had someone waiting spine, ready to jump the play, jump the route mid pattern. And so it was, I mean, lucky he didn't go pick six. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, I just feel sorry for the kid. It's going to be real difficult to find his footing with all this fame and publicity and how social media was going crazy. But ultimately, he did show some encouraging signs, but it will ultimately be a contingency on how fast can he develop. And it's not going to help now that you can't help but think like, so was Matthew Golden a guy who in Green Bay, and I got a video coming next about the Packers, how far back was Matthew Golden being held back? Now he's gonna go to Jordan Love, and they got just an entire ensemble of talent at running back, wide receiver, tight end. They're loaded, and this is gonna be a real tough watch. Quinn Ewers looked pretty good in preseason in the second half. I think they kind of sold him out a little bit the first one, but then he came back. They really tried to put him in a position to win and do some good things, and he looked solid. And I think he's got a very good chance to be one of the better players actually in this quarterback draft class. And listen, I hate how when fans watch these games, they try to hold them to a standard of like a Hall of Fame or bust. And in a society where robots are replacing jobs, but all of a sudden we expect athletes that get drafted to be, going to Canton first ballot. That's the undertone in everyone's discourse. A lot of people's discourse, not everyone, but a lot of people's discourse. Quinn Ewers is in a very dangerous situation. He's a third string quarterback, no pressure, a lot of weapons, offensive guru at quarterback. And it's probable that, I hate to say it, he's going to have a chance at some point this year. I don't know, it could be week 6, week 10, I don't know when, and he's going to have plenty of prep to go to step into. And guess what? He's going to have a game or two where you're going to be like, holy cow, Quinn Ewers looks really good. And I hope Archie can, by that point, have his footing, because it could get really ugly fast. But I just don't know if Archie has the time on his side. He needs this whole season. Even if he just starts clicking on all cylinders, I don't care how good this season goes. He needs another year after this year. That is a kid who looks too raw. He has not done anything besides have that last name. And I'm just being candid with you. I don't know how high that ceiling is. I like how he was able to push through that blitz and get that pass off on fourth down, even though ultimately it went for nothing. And he definitely, if that third down was caught, who knows? He ties the game. They go to OT. He wins it or puts them in field goal position and they win it. Now all of a sudden we're talking about a legacy game and everything is different. And we'll never hear the end of it. But the team that was supposed to win won. I'm going to be honest. Because Ohio State was just, like I said, you got to tip them off schematically. They were on a whole different level today. And Matt Patricia deserves every bit of it, even though, I favor the Lions. And I hate the work he did over there. The guy, when he's just asked to be a defensive coordinator, he does it. And it's not just when he's asked to do that, he did that. And so bottom line is I just want to see, obviously Eli looks raw out there. But ultimately, at the end of the day, who knows what would have happened if that third down got complete. I'm interested to see more. This was just some of my thoughts and impressions. I'll try to do better next time, Utopians Global. Out.